Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call Me When They Kiss. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sydney.
And if this is your first time listening, every Friday, Sydney and I review a different romance movie and sometimes a TV show. And you can also join us the last Monday of every month for a bonus episode where we review a romance book. Today, we watched the brand new Netflix original Office Romance starring J-Lo and Brett Goldstein.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go over our books for the month since we're doing two?
Yes, here's your weekly reminder. The first one is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and the second is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. They are our double feature book episode for Pride Month, and I haven't read Boyfriend Material yet, but Atmosphere is probably one of, if not the best book I've read maybe in the past 18 months, even last year. So I'm kind of scared though, because I was thinking about it. Because I was re-listening to our last episode and you were talking about like how much you hate overhyping and how it's like really like ruined some experiences for you. And I was like, oh shoot, like maybe I should have like came in a little bit softer, a little bit lower, just in case. But I just
No,
really love it.
I trust you, Sydney. Like, I need to stop trusting random people on TikTok, but I trust you.
Well,
And I
okay.
have read, I've read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book before, and I liked it. So
Okay,
I'm not
so
really
that sounds more
worried.
promising.
Yeah. Boyfriend Material was recommended to us, but neither of us have read it yet, so I don't, hopefully that one's good. I mean, not that I don't trust the person who recommended it. Next week, for next week's episode, we will be reviewing Every Year After, which is a new Amazon Prime miniseries. It is based on the book Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. So I'm also going to try to listen to that book this week before I watch the show.
I'm running out of time.
Yeah, you have a few days before the show comes out. Well, something
Did you
else
want
we
to say
wanted.
anything about? Oh, I think you're just about to bring it up.
What, Love Island?
Yeah.
Yes, Love Island has officially begun, and I realized that our Love Island conversations, they're going to be about a week behind, but that's okay. I still want to talk about it.
Okay.
So we're recording this on Sunday, so tonight we get to see the first dumping, so we have that to look forward to. Sydney's actually a couple episodes behind, though. She's only watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, and there's 4 out, right?
Uh-huh.
So, do you have predictions of who will be dumped?
There's definitely someone I want to be dumped. I really don't like the first male bombshell that has entered. His name is Gabrielle. Yeah. He's like definitely the type of guy that he's so good looking that he doesn't have a personality. Like he's obviously like made his way through life with his looks alone.
I saw this.
Have you watched that
what?
part where they go in
Yeah.
the triple beds?
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, what did you think about that?
I'm just in episode 2, okay? So, like, the bombshells came in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like I've seen him a lot, but I've seen enough. The first second he entered that screen, he's like, and did I mention I'm from Brazil? And did I mention I'm super sexy? And do you want me to kiss you? Do you want it? Like, literally, like, he gets in the room with them and he's like, they're already kissing again.
No, that was so awkward. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, he does not know how to talk to these women. So he resorts to just kissing them because they got in there and you could tell it was kind of awkward. And they started talking about how they were like hot. And then he like took his shirt off. And then they just like but there was like this awkward pause where like nobody knew what to say or do. And so then he like started kissing one of them right in front of the other one.
Yeah, and she was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was uncomfy. And he
I
like
don't like
leads
him,
every
but
kiss with his tongue straight out.
yeah. But I don't think he's going to get dumped tonight because
So is he with Bia?
Yeah, right now he's with Beatrice. Well, some of my rapid fire thoughts on everybody. Kenzie, I think she's funny and good TV. I just hope she doesn't. Like, she's funny, but there's been moments where I'm like, okay, actually, you're kind of genuinely annoying and delusional. So we'll see if my thoughts on her change. I think my favorites right now are Trinity and Anaya. I think Trinity is super funny. The boys, I don't really have super strong opinions on any of them. Wait, so what do you think about Bryce? Because everybody, like, I feel like there's been mixed reactions to, like, him.
Look, he's not my type. But the problem is that, like, the genre of men, that makes sense, that gets cast on Love Island is, like, my final op.
Yeah.
Like, this type of man gives me the ick so hardcore that, like, is someone for Bryce, that's just, like, a double negative because I don't find him attractive, and he's just his personality's giving me the ick
Yeah.
too. Like, there's nothing redeeming him for me. But maybe I haven't seen enough of him. Do you think he's nice?
You really need to be caught up next time we record
I will.
because I mean, I don't think he's like particularly attractive, but he's kind of growing on me. Like in episode 4, he had some funny moments and he was like in Love Island UK, they say they're putting their grafting boots on. He had his grafting boots on. He was working really hard for Trinity. And it kind of endeared me to him.
Yeah.
But we'll see if I
Okay.
Okay, I have 2 more quick things to say. Number 1, you haven't gotten to this part yet, but Bea and Melanie get in a fight. And I just want to say, I think both of them are right and both of them are wrong. Like, I was annoyed at both of them almost equally.
Yeah.
So when you get there, we'll have to discuss. And then the second thing is, I'm also watching Love Island UK, and they sent one of the OG Islanders, they sent his brother in as a bombshell. So on Love Island UK, there are currently brothers in the villa, and I think they need to send Charlie in to the USA villa as a bombshell.
I did see that, and I would actually love that. And people were like, I don't know, that sounds kind of icky. That seems wrong. Like 2 brothers going after the same girls or kissing the same girls. And people were like, who cares? It's messy. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the reason why I haven't felt quite drawn in is because nobody's really been messy yet. I mean, do they get messier?
Well, episode 4 is definitely the best episode so far because, like, they start fighting.
Yeah, I was
So you
gonna
just
say,
need to
like,
get there.
it feels like they're playing it very safe, that everyone is like, oh, like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I'm gonna say this because I don't want to hurt their feelings. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but, like, this is Love Island. So we're gonna need you to crank up the toxicness a little bit and
Well,
give me something to watch.
I think it takes them a couple days to forget that they're on TV.
Yeah,
And then they forget, and then they start going crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard, yeah, like, I try not to, like, make any declarative statements about how I feel about a Love Island season for at least a week. Because there's just so many episodes, and because I did kind of feel like it was starting out slow.
Yeah.
But you can't judge, like, the first 3 episodes of a Love Island season based on, like, how the last season went overall that you saw everything of,
Well, and it honestly might have been, like, hard for me to start with season 7 because from what I can gather, it was, like, a whole different ball game of how they were all moving and how they were all acting and how, like, how the show worked as a whole. And so I almost feel, I mean, I know you've said that I need to watch season 6, but I really do feel like I need to go and watch it so that I'm given a bigger picture of, like, what Love Island is. But a lot of people are saying that UK feels like it's gonna be better than this season of US. What would you say? Are you liking UK more?
I was thinking that after watching 3 episodes of UK and 3 episodes of USA, I was like, oh, maybe UK will actually be good again this year. Because it used to be the better show. Then the past couple years, it hasn't been that good.
Yeah.
But then in episode 4, I think USA started picking up. I don't know. It's so hard to say because there's so many episodes, and they are very different vibes. Like the like the American people versus the British people, they're just very different. They move differently, so it's almost hard to compare.
A follow-up question then, because I've also heard that, like, if you haven't watched Love Island, here's a recap of the first 10 minutes of Love Island. They do a song and dance.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I do not like this new intro song. I don't know. Something felt like way
No,
weirder. No, you
that was
liked it?
no, I didn't like it. And it was so sad because
Yeah.
literally like an hour before the premiere, I texted our group chat and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what song they lip sync to. And then it just, I don't know, it wasn't very memorable. Like, I haven't even seen any memes about it or anything, or anybody like recreating the dances.
And honestly, like, it feels like it's like right here in the back of my mind, but I couldn't even tell you what the words are or what it sounds like. It's just not like a very upbeat, memorable
It's
song.
like, if you love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember. Yeah. No, something about it felt extra corny. Okay, but they do that, and then they all meet. And literally within the first 10 minutes of, once everyone comes in, they've all kissed everyone. Like, everyone has kissed everyone. And it immediately kicks off with, like, let's see how compatible you are. What's your favorite sex position?
Yeah.
But people were saying on, like, UK that, like, the first kiss actually still means something, and that you might have to, like, kind of wait for people to, like, ask to kind of have that first kiss, and that it's, like, built up kind of different.
Well, to me, the kissing in it, because like, to me, at the beginning of Love Island USA, they all kissed each other, but it was for a challenge. And I feel like challenge kisses are different than real kisses.
Yeah.
So, like, in UK, they'll do challenges where they kiss each other. I guess they're not kissing literally everybody else in the villa, like in USA.
Yeah.
But if you kiss outside of a challenge, in UK, that's still, like, a pretty big deal.
Okay.
In USA, I didn't really care. I was fine with them all making out in the challenge right at the beginning. And they've actually done that before. Like, they did that in season 6. I'm pretty sure almost everybody made out with each other. But what's funny and kind of weird to me is that they're very nonchalantly all kissing outside of the challenge. They're acting like they're all, like, closed off, as they say, on, like, day 3. And that's where I'm confused. Like they're coming up, the boys come up and give the girls breakfast, and they, like, kiss them like they're an old married couple. Like, oh, here you go. Mwah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's weirder to me than, like, the challenge kissing.
Because then there can't be this moment of, like, oh, like, I think I'm falling for you. Can I kiss you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. It's, like, honestly hit me. I was, like, so excited for it to start, and then, like, Tuesday came, and I didn't even get to watch it that day. I don't think I got to finish the first episode until, like, Friday, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm already so behind. Like, Love Island is a commitment.
Yeah, no, you can't get behind.
So I kind of have to, like, I have to find my routine, like, find a way to, like, work it into my schedule again. I could watch stuff at the gym, but I'm like, should I have Love Island on at the gym? Like, there's just a whole lot of stuff going on in these episodes.
I've done it at the office before.
You're brave.
But yeah. I'm trying to think if anyone ever walked up behind me while I was watching it. I don't think so. Yeah, you cannot get behind. Like, I was having a really busy week at work, and I was working late and stuff, but at 7 o'clock, I was like, I'm sorry, like, I have to take a break and watch Love Island. I'll be back in an hour.
But even you missed an episode and had to watch it later, right?
Yeah, I did.
And I was
having
surprised to
a
hear
terrible
that. I was
day.
like, Issa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear it was terrible.
Well, but part of the reason I was okay with missing on Friday was because I knew there wasn't an episode on Saturday, so I was like, okay, I'll catch up on Saturday.
Easy to make up. Well, I'm still excited. I'm gonna I have faith that they'll stir the pot and
Yeah.
give me some entertainment. So
I just hope they give us a true Casa Amor instead of whatever shit they did last year. I appreciate them trying to mix it up and keep us on our toes, but there's some things that are just sacred to Love Island, and you should not mess with them.
can't change it. Yeah.
So, okay, the last thing before we talk about the movie. I have to issue my first public apology on the podcast.
I was like, what are you gonna say?
Maybe I should just write it out in my notes app and post it on our Instagram stories like a true celebrity or influencer. So our episode that came out last week, I went on a rant about Heated Rivalry and trying to get all my friends to watch Heated Rivalry. And honestly, I was like harsher than I remembered being. So I'm sorry to my friends who I bullied for not watching Heated Rivalry. But I still really think you should watch it. And in exchange for watching Heated Rivalry, you can pick a show that you really want me to watch and I'll watch it.
If Issa says she's gonna do it, she'll do it.
You guys, we've been recording for like 2 hours now, and I think we have like 30 minutes of usable material because we just keep talking about literally anything besides office romance. Okay, should we talk about office romance?
Yeah.
Where to even begin?
A synopsis.
Synopsis. Well, you go. I've done the last couple
Okay.
synopses. Unless you weren't
I feel like
prepared
it's
for
pretty
that.
simple. Okay. The main gist of it, and this isn't every single detail, but the main core part is that J-Lo's character is the CEO of an airline that I don't know if her dad technically owns it or if they like co-own it or what, but they've kind of ran this airline together. She has a strict no inter-office relationship policy because she was actually married to somebody that she worked with in the past and he cheated on her with his secretary. And so now she's like, no relationships with anyone in the office. This is how I do things. And she's been pulled into like multiple kind of like lawsuits. She had bought some airline space at like Dallas Fort Worth, but another airline wanted that. And so he's trying to like find a way to like sue her or blackmail her or like any possible way that he can like get those spots back from her. Long story short, because of some of these cases, she starts working closely with the legal department. In comes Brett Goldstein. He is immediately enamored by her. She takes some time to kind of win over, but she thinks that he's like really smart and talented, and they sort of form this connection. And they fall in love, basically. I'm trying to like tell like the most concise version of this, but she knows
it's hard because when you get going, you can't help but just like explain everything.
Exactly.
That's what always happens to me.
Basically, she's worried that like her job is at risk, the airline's at risk because, like she's a woman and, typical women, nobody cares who men sleeps with, but if it's a woman sleeping with her employee, then she might not be seen as like very credible to be as the CEO. Like the board's already kind of been looking for reasons to replace her. And so she feels more pressure to like keep this a secret, but then the other airline that was trying to sue them comes out and they've been like following them and like have pictures of them together. So she's faced with this big moment of like, what am I going to do? Like, do I sacrifice him and keep my airline? Do I sacrifice the airline and keep him? And yeah, am I missing? What would you add to that? That's like this super generalized plot. There's so much more that like
that was
happens,
pretty good.
but
I don't think you were missing anything. I got distracted because I was trying to remember that line in The Man by Taylor Swift where she's like, she says something about how every conquest would make me more of a boss to you. That's what I was thinking of when you were talking about nobody cares who men sleep with, but it delegitimizes women. Did you say what happens at the end?
Well, they end up together, of course, but
well, she gets to keep him and her airline.
Yeah, he just like comes out and he's like, look, like, yes, this is what happened. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not stepping down. I built this airline. She stood up to her dad. She brought back her power. she recognized her worth. I mean, I still feel like she would face a lot of backlash after that whole press
Mhm.
recording. But press conference being recorded, I mean. But
Mhm.
that sounds like a pretty normal plot, right? But as a typical rom-com, there was a lot of shenanigans mixed into that plot and a lot of raunchiness. It wasn't so straightforward as I just described it.
I don't think I've said WTF in a movie more times than I did watching this movie. At least not any movie we've done so far on the podcast.
No, I agree. There's one scene in particular that I was like,
Wait,
"What
was it when the
the?"
lady gave birth?
Yes.
Can we just skip
Okay.
to that part?
Okay. Give some backstory. And this is like near the end, okay, guys? And I texted Issa, I said, "Oh, I'm kind of scared because when the movie starts and it shows the rating, it said like stuff about language. I think there was one other thing, and then it said graphic nudity. And I was like, graphic nudity? What does that mean? Like, most of the time it just says nudity.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what is graphic nudity? And so I was kind of scared. Like, every sex scene that came up, I was like, man, how graphic is this gonna be? And then,
Yeah.
like, every sex scene was fade to black. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So it was kind of like I was on the edge of my
Then you were
seat,
kind of
like,
disappointed.
where's this nudity gonna come from? And oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like her, every female lead of a rom-com, she's got to have a sassy, quirky sidekick. Her J-Lo's sassy, quirky sidekick is like, I don't know, her assistant or secretary or something, and she's pregnant the whole movie, like very pregnant. And so then, of course, towards the end of the movie, her water breaks at the office and she gives birth, and they like I haven't seen anything like that since my like high school health class. Like it literally
I
showed
skipped
her
that class. I skipped that day on purpose. I have never
to
seen
not have to
anything.
watch it.
Yes, and I've given birth and I've never seen anything like this.
My gosh, yeah, it like showed her giving birth, and it was crazy.
But
I
you know
mean,
what?
maybe it wasn't that crazy, but like I just wasn't expecting it in this movie.
It was just like it felt so unnecessary, and
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. Like as soon as she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm giving birth here," I was like, "Okay, they're already broken up. There's not a lot of time left in the movie." I looked at Alan and I said, "This is it. This is going to be the
Oh.
graphic nudity." I was like, "Are they going to show her giving birth?"
See, I hadn't thought about that, so it was a jump scare to me.
No, yeah. I had a little bit of foresight. I covered my eyes. I was like, "Oh, Issa knows I don't even watch horror movies. I don't watch bloody. I hate anything that has to do with like the body." And
Mhm.
I've actually found out that like body horror is like a specific genre
Genre.
of horror
Yeah.
that just sounds like something I would hate. But like, oh, I just like hate I don't like things like that. And honestly, I felt like it ruined the whole movie.
Yeah, I didn't like
Am I
it.
being too harsh?
No, I didn't like it, and maybe not exactly for the same reasons, like, I'm not well, it's funny because I was about to say, I'm not as queasy as you, but the one thing I'm, like, extremely queasy about, and genuinely, I think this is why I haven't had kids yet, like, giving birth is, like, my worst nightmare. Being pregnant,
Mhm.
my worst nightmare. So I am really queasy about that kinda stuff, like, I hate going to the gynecologist, stuff like that. So, I didn't like it. Also, like, it just felt dated. Like, they made a couple pregnancy jokes
Mhm.
throughout the whole movie about her, and, like, I I don't know, like, a woman giving birth is just never going to be funny to me.
Can I read something about this?
Yeah.
I feel like somebody wrote a review on Rotten Tomatoes. She said, "I like the movie, but the full frontal birth scene completely ruined it for me. Without that graphic childbirth scene, I would have loved it. It was sweet, well-made film with a strong performance and a lot of heart. However, I feel the director went too far. As a woman, I found it disappointing because women are so often shown in their most vulnerable moments for entertainment, shock value, or discussion. The breast
Mhm.
milk scene felt unnecessary as well.
Yeah.
These choices distracted from the story and shifted the focus from the characters to women's physical vulnerabilities. And no, I don't find the argument that it's natural convincing. Many things are natural, but that doesn't mean they need to be shown in graphic detail for entertainment. Some moments deserve dignity. Why are women's bodies so often put on display for entertainment? We rarely see equally graphic depictions of male genital injuries, surgeries, or reproductive functions in mainstream films. And, like, I feel like she just worded that, like, so perfectly. I think, like, once, like, when I actually, like, sat with it and thought about, like, why did that make me so uncomfortable? Like, when I read that, I feel like that really, like, hit it on the nose, that childbirth, like you said, like, it is, like, a extremely vulnerable, scary thing for a lot of women,
Mhm.
and it just feels like such a man and this movie was directed by a man and co-written by 2 men. And it just feels like such a man thing to do, to be like, "Wouldn't this be funny?"
Yeah. Yeah.
When, like, no woman finds childbirth funny.
No.
I don't know a single woman, like, you can find it holy and sacred, you could find it, like, vulnerable, you can find it scary, you can find it painful, you can find it beautiful, but like, no woman I know finds it funny.
No.
And it just, like, that was the point that I was like, yep, this was written by a man. And it's the same kind of feelings I have towards, like, a lot of Adam Sandler movies that have, like, obnoxious, like, poop and fart jokes, over the top vomiting. Like, it's
Yeah.
just such, like, boy humor that I don't like.
Yeah, not funny, not funny. The other part I didn't think was funny, while we're on the topic, more towards the beginning, when he, like, they first meet each other,
Mhm.
he gets a boner
Oh my
shaking
god.
her hand, and that was another moment where I was like, "Oh my gosh, this was written by a man." Like,
Mhm.
I just didn't think not that I was, like, particularly offended by it, but I was just like, "That was not funny, that was
But
dumb."
yeah, like, again, girls don't think boners are funny. And it was done in, like, okay, the reality is, like, if a man gets a boner, what kind of pants could he possibly be wearing that it's going to be like, did
I
you notice
know.
this? It's, like, completely shaped around his boner, sticking straight out from his pants. Because reality is, like, if a guy gets a boner, you're not gonna tell. Like, it's gonna be, like, tucked away in his pants, you know? And so, like, it's
Yeah, because you have
so
to think, like, he has underwear on too, so, like,
yeah, like, oh,
it's a
did
really
his
powerful
pants
boner.
like, yeah, like, how was his pants wrapped around his boner? Like,
I'm like, "That was not funny," and now I'm, like, cackling about it.
boners are no, but, like, it wasn't the fact that he got a boner, it was the fact that, like, somehow his pants were molded. 'Cause he's, like, walking around, and you can see it, like, sticking straight out.
Sticking out, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What?" It just felt so stupid. But, yeah, like, that was probably the first thing that I felt like, ugh, like, a little bit of cringiness, you know?
Yeah.
And not in, like, a, like, rom-com cute, sweet kind of cringy way, but, like, a, ooh, like, I don't like,
Mhm.
it just felt weird.
Okay, sorry, I'm, like, jumping all over the place, but, like, I have to go back to the giving birth scene again. I'm actually surprised that they left that in, because you would think that, like, when they showed this movie to test audiences, like, and you were saying that J-Lo and Brett Goldstein, they keep talking about how they wanna, like, they're trying to go back to classic rom-com type stuff.
Mhm.
I'm actually surprised that that scene made it through all the test screenings.
Yes. So that was one of my questions for you. I guess, like, okay, let me back up a second and then I'll ask this question.
Okay, okay.
My first question was, like, did you have specific expectations for it coming in? Because I had seen a lot of interview clips of JLo and Brett talking about this and talking about their love for classic rom-coms and wanting to bring back, like, a feeling of, like, that era. Um, and so did you have certain expectations for that? And then to kinda, like, follow up, like, why or why not did it either not meet your expectations or reach it or, like, fit in that classic rom-com category or not? Sorry, that's, like, a lot of questions at once, but do you get all that?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't have particularly high expectations. and I would like to make this very clear, not because I'm a J-Lo hater, because I'm not a J-Lo hater. So it wasn't anything to do with her. It was more so just to do with the fact that it was a Netflix movie. I was just like, yeah, okay, it probably won't be. It's probably not going to be that great. And I actually didn't even watch the trailer before I watched the movie. Did you?
No, actually.
Yeah, so I went into it like not really knowing what to expect. Do I think it felt like a classic rom-com? No. And I mean, we've had this conversation before, but I think I think you have to stay below a certain level of raunchiness to make it into classic rom-com territory.
You should at least be able to watch it with your 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too sheltered. Maybe there are a lot of people that would watch this with their 16-year-old daughter, but I think I would scar my 16-year-old daughter if she saw that birthing scene.
Do you think okay, I'm trying to think like besides the birthing scene. So like if they cut that out, is it
I
still
was just
too
about to ask you
raunchy?
the same. Like,
Because
do you
actually
think
there
if
was no sex in it.
Yeah, like if they had cut out even, let's say, the boner and the birthing scene, would that change your overall perception of the film? And maybe
Yeah.
like the whole scene where he's saying the C word over and over again.
Okay, that was kind of funny though.
It was funny, but like I don't know, like again, if that's like, do
Yeah.
you watch this with your kids? I don't know,
Yeah.
but I didn't mind it.
I mean, they'd have to cut all that out, and I do think they'd have to kind of up the romance. It didn't feel particularly like cute and romantic to me.
Okay, yeah. So okay, well, we're
I
just
don't
like
think that
rapid
Brett
fire
and
goes.
J Lo had crazy good chemistry, and like, I don't know.
So two things to kind of add to that. One is
Okay.
I saw a video of them doing this or that, a game, like this movie or that movie
Mhm.
of rom-coms from like the 2000s. The
Mhm.
very first one was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Crazy Stupid Love. They both said Crazy Stupid Love.
Well,
And Crazy
wrong
Stupid
answer.
Love was beating out like several like classic rom-coms like in a row. So Brett did say, like, a certain point in, he was like, "Oh, like this is hard. I don't like this game. I already feel like I messed up when we had to move past How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days." Like he said, that was a great movie, but the fact that they both chose Crazy Stupid Love, I think, shows their perception of a rom com, and
And
that
we
while
like Crazy Stupid Love.
yeah, while it's a funny movie, it's not
It's
a
not that romantic.
romantic movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to
There's
Lose a Guy in
romance and
10
it's a
Days is way
comedy.
more romantic.
Yeah. And so like
And
right there I was like, "Oh, we
yeah.
like I don't think most women would say that, you know."
And that's a really
They'd make
good
the choice.
example too of a movie that doesn't have sex in it, but there's some good romantic kissing scenes.
Yeah.
Like
A
when
lot of
the first
chemistry.
night they meet and then like in the bathroom, but
Mhm.
there's no nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then the other point was I'm not sure if it felt like a little bit off the mark because like I said, is it because it's written by two men who just like fundamentally didn't understand like what women are looking for in rom-coms? But also, I wonder, there's also sort of a cultural difference because Brett Goldstein is British. The guy that he wrote it with, I don't know, his name like wasn't clickable on Wikipedia, so like I don't know anything about him. But me and Issa, like we watched Notting Hill. We didn't really love it. I hated Love Actually. Have you watched other British rom-coms?
uh no. I
Did you
think
watch
Notting
Bridget
Hill.
Jones' Diary or any of
No. I
No?
really think we need to do another like British movie
I know.
episode to compare
Sorry
to
to
Notting Hill.
We have some new British
Yeah.
podcast friends. Shout out to Rage Whale podcast if they're listening to this. So I'm sorry if we're offending them, but it did kind of cross my mind too of like, are there different expectations when it comes to romance, American versus British views? Because Love
Yeah, and
Actually
humor
had
and
some like
stuff.
weird, crazy, like it had nudity and some like weird, obscene things too. And so, yeah, like, I'm just wondering if just to start off that way was just different ideas of what that would look like.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
that wasn't really a question, but I'm just
Well, I
pondering that.
think well, I thought our Rage Well friends I thought they said they didn't like Love Actually either, though.
Yeah, one of them was like, "That would actually be, like, a horror story."
Yeah.
And actually, James didn't like Notting Hill either. So one of them is on our side, but,
Okay, okay.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like I had high expectations because Brett Goldstein wrote Shrinking and Ted Lasso, which, like,
Mhm.
both of them. It's not just like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I like that show," like, we were just talking about shows that we haven't been obsessed with for a while, and, like, I kind of forgot about those, but, like, Shrinking leans a little bit more on, like, the heavier side, so, like, sometimes it's, like, so good, but it's hard to say, like, "Oh, I really enjoyed that," because, like, some episodes actually have made me cry.
Mhm.
Um, it hits a little bit deeper, but, Ted Lasso also has that, like, really, like that sweet spot of, like, comedy, but also, like, emotional vulnerability,
Mhm.
and Ted Lasso is genuinely, like, one of the best shows I've ever watched. Like, I really loved it, and so I thought Brett Goldstein could nail this, like, a sweet rom-com that also has that kind of, like, emotional punch that we've been talking about,
Mhm.
and it didn't feel like this had that at all. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't feel like, and that's not to say okay, and we'll back up because we started really strong with all the things that we didn't like about it. It's not to say that there were, like, no sweet moments or that it wasn't cute or that it wasn't at all romantic, but, yeah, I was just expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things I liked about it. Since you said we'll back up and talk about things we liked.
What would you rate it?
Uh, I gave it 2 stars.
Okay. And, like, taking out those scenes, does that change your rating at all?
I'd maybe bump it up to 3 stars, but
Um,
I still wasn't I don't know, I'm not just like I'm not feeling obsessed with J.Lo and Brett and their romance in the movie.
okay, well, I guess, like, it could be hard because, like, I already have, like, an emotional attachment to Brett Goldstein, and so,
Okay.
like, he's actually in both shows too. Like, he didn't just write Ted Lasso and Shrinking, is he plays roles in both of those shows too.
Mhm.
Roy Kent in Ted Lasso is, like, one of my favorite characters, and so, like, it's hard, I guess, to, like, separate that of, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but it's Roy Kent," you know?
Mhm.
Um,
Wait, so what did
so
you rate it?
I like him. I'd say maybe a 3,
Really? Okay. So
but,
if you take out the scenes you didn't like, would you go all the way up to a 4?
in terms of, like, okay, it goes the exact same as Crazy Stupid Love. Like, and Crazy Stupid Love is not even as, like, crude or raunchy as this, but, like, I did, like, laugh at a lot of parts of it. I think it was a
Yeah.
good comedy, but as a rom-com, no. Maybe without those scenes, it would have felt a little bit more romantic and less like, "What the heck?" You know? And so maybe it would have been like a 3.5, but I feel like the parts that I enjoyed of it was more of just, like, the straight comedy aspects
Yeah.
and not, like, the
And not
romantic
the
storyline.
romance, yeah.
Mhm.
No, I definitely still laughed at quite a few parts, and even her friend's name was Sydney, the lady
Yeah.
that was pregnant and gave birth. Um, I actually thought she was funny.
Yeah.
Like, when she made fun of his British accent right before she gave birth,
Yeah.
that was funny.
I even, like, cackled when she, like, said that J.Lo was, like, way out of his league, and I can't remember who she compared J.Lo to, but it
Helen
was
of
like,
Troy.
yeah, Helen of Troy and Mr. Bean, and I was like,
Yeah.
but even, like, the boner part, the scene after where he gets called into her office and, like, I do cackle at dirty jokes, and she was like, "Oh, like, I would love it if you would come," and then he's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, like, I think I can go, that shouldn't be too hard," or whatever, you know, like like, and they were, like, joking about the fact that, like, the day before he had got, like, this boner in his
Yeah.
office, like, I still thought that part was funny, even though, like, showing the boner itself and all. That was just like, honestly, it was just weird. I don't think I could ever face somebody that like got a boner that hard in front of me, but
Well, yeah, like, no, you're right. I mean, we're not prudes. Like, of course we laugh at dirty jokes, but for some reason, him getting a boner just didn't work for me. And also, like, I kept thinking about if he wasn't hot, this would be creepy. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, like, if you shook hands with a coworker and they got a boner, I'd be so creeped out and weirded out.
I
Unless they
actually
were
might be
hot.
like, yeah, yeah. I actually might be like so scared that I'd like, look, I don't have like a super important job position. Like, I could leave and they'd be fine, probably, you know? But like, I might
Mhm.
quit that day and never show up again. Like, I don't need my job that badly that like I would go
Yeah.
and face that person. I'd be like, that was super weird. I'm gonna find a different job.
Another thing I was thinking about, like, so at one point they have to go on a 4-hour flight, just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And one time a male coworker drove me 10 minutes to lunch, and it was the longest 10 minutes of my life. Like, if you didn't have a crush on the coworker you were hanging out with, like, that would be so
Yeah.
miserable.
No, that's true. But Alan did rate this a 4 stars. And I said, really? That high? Like,
That's so
even after the
funny.
birthing scene? And he's like, yeah, it was funny and I like Roy Kent. And I was like, okay. But like, again,
Okay.
like, so I almost wish that you would have watched it with Ryan just to see like what the male POV is, because they're
Yeah.
not so much looking for like, oh, that's so romantic,
Romance.
you
Yeah.
know? But
Well, I would say I'll watch it again with him, but I won't because I didn't like it enough to do that.
I think that if those scenes that really kind of made me clench up weren't in there, that I wouldn't mind rewatching it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh no. Like, I do, like, even though I could technically just fast forward through certain things, like, no, I just don't even want to now.
Yeah.
Um I probably laughed more in this movie than People We Meet on Vacation, though.
No, yeah, it was definitely funny. I mean,
They nailed the
there were
comedy.
yeah, there were so many gags and so many jokes that, like, how can you not laugh?
Mhm.
Another crazy random side plot was that his sister was in jail
Oh my
for
gosh.
chopping a guy's head. I thought there were
It's a joke.
I know, I was waiting for her to be like, "Just kidding." I didn't even finish the sentence. She went to jail for beheading a guy with a machete.
Yeah.
And it was never explained. I, like, turned to my sister and I was like, "Well, I'm sure she had a good reason," but, like, it was never
No.
explained, like, why.
And even later, she was like, "I'd do it again.
I'd do
That
it
made me
again.
happy." And I was like, "What the?" But it did make for a good joke when she was like, I can't remember the circumstances, but she was like, "Your sister said it was fine. She didn't have a problem with it." And he was like, "She's insane."
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, "No, literally."
That was so random. I still don't really
Yeah.
get why they put that in there. There were
Well, there were
just a
several
few
things like
things where I
that.
was like, "Huh."
Yeah. Even like the coworker hating him, it was funny, but like, why? Like, it came out of nowhere. I mean, I guess it
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
oh, why put everything at risk? But I don't know. I feel like if you were a girl boss CEO of an airline and like you had been cheated on by your husband and you'd been single for years and like thought maybe you wouldn't find love again, I think I would be hyping you up, even if I knew that it could get you in trouble. Does that make me a bad friend?
No, I mean, everyone loves office drama and office gossip.
Yeah.
Another weird thing, going back to the pregnant lady, she kept talking about how she was gonna have the baby and then come back to work the next day.
Hmm.
And then she did. She showed up to work the next day. And I was trying not to take it too seriously, but as a feminist and as a woman, I couldn't. I was like, what are they, like, trying to say here?
Yeah, like that doesn't make you a girl boss.
Yeah, I was like, are they making fun of moms? Are they making fun of like, I was like, what is
Yeah.
happening? Like, no
Like,
mother would give birth and then go back to work the next day. I was just really perplexed by that.
Who's the audience for this joke?
I don't know. And they had to like beg her to go home and like be with her baby. I don't know.
Yeah. It's almost like we've talked about this in some other movies, but there can be extreme characters in rom-coms, of course. But my preference for rom-coms are ones that like can be silly but also still feel grounded. And there was a couple characters in this movie that just like went so far to the extreme of like I am a character that
Yeah.
it no longer felt like um realistic is a silly word because like of course the whole thing with rom-coms is that like they're not
They're not
realistic,
realistic, yeah.
but you can watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and to some extent, even with all the silliness and the unrealisticness, think maybe this could happen to me, you know?
Yeah.
They just took things a little bit more to the extreme in this one where like you don't really self-insert in the movie the same way, you know?
Yeah, it was a kooky movie, that's for sure.
Well, do you want me to read the best and the worst review?
Yes.
Okay. Should I start with the half star or 5 stars?
Start with the 5-star because I'm curious.
Okay. Laughed heaps. Just what I expected from Brett Goldstein. Mm. He made me laugh in Ted Lasso. He made me cry in Shrinking. JLo was good too. I thought the irreverence of the British humor was awesome, but I'm an Aussie. The murdering sister, the secretary role, was a standout too. The cringing of the HR guy was hilarious, and there were quite a few laugh out loud moments, so we really enjoyed it. Good fun on a Saturday night. Might be a bit in your face and ears if you're prudish, but it
Us,
is
I
rated R,
guess.
so you shouldn't be that surprised. So that's what I'm saying. Is this a cultural thing? Like, this is an Australian person, you know? But they're like, yeah, it was hilarious. It made me laugh. It was a good fun time. Don't be a prude. Okay, you ready for the 1 star? Oh,
I
actually, it's
mean,
0.5.
I'm just pondering, like, yeah, I laughed. Maybe I'm basing it more on the romance, like, the romance didn't really draw me in, and that person didn't really seem to care about the romance, they
Yeah,
just
they didn't
thought it was
mention anything
funny.
about it.
And
Yeah,
that's fine, but, like, then tell us you're writing a comedy and not a classic rom-com, because
exactly.
that's what they were, like, trying to advertise it as, weren't they?
Yes. And here's the thing. If you want a movie that's going to make you laugh, I guess yeah, you could turn this on and you'll laugh.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I still don't like I'd still turn on 21 or 22 Jump Street over this, which like is starring 2 men, written by men, but like nothing in that made me feel like ugh, like I don't like that's a weird scene for women or like that just felt like such a dude joke, you know, like, I don't know.
It's funny
I
too
still
that
think there
that
are better comedies.
yeah. It's funny too that that review, mentioned irreverent British humor,
Yeah.
because in my mind, like, British people are way more reserved than Americans.
No, seriously, it's really made me think, like, I have no perception of the world.
We need to talk
Like,
to Kevin about this.
yeah, let's message him and say, like, "You guys need to watch this, and we actually need to hear your thoughts."
Yeah. We need your
Um,
British opinion.
and a man opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, the point 5, so less than 1 star,
Okay, yeah.
said, "This is genuinely a terrible watch. It was a really poor script, and there was inconsistency in tone, humor level, and characterizations. The plot is weak, unbelievably predictable, and soul-crushing boring. And it's yet another trope of a female who can't lead, is disliked, can't stand up to her father, needs a man to tell her who she is and what she should do, and guess what? Whose entire story arc is built around her sex life because what else drives the plot of a female-led film? Cannot believe this stuff is getting made in 2026. Do better, Netflix. Avoid it at all cost."
Yeah, they they made a lot of good points I actually hadn't even thought about. Because I was hung up on the freaking birth scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, it was all about her sex life. Well, I guess I took it as they were trying to, like, make a point, like, "Oh, women are, uh, they can't, be taken seriously at work because they're always being sexualized." But yeah, why
Yeah.
are we still making movies like that?
Yeah, some people, like, brought up some complaint like, kind of on the opposite side of that spectrum. They were like, "Ugh, ugh, they're pushing this ultra feminist girl boss agenda." And I'm like, "Well, to be honest, show me a 2000 rom-com that isn't about an aspiring career woman."
Yeah.
Like, no,
That's
that
so
is
true.
like, that's probably one of the things they got right. That's why all like, such a big chunk of women that grew up with these movies went on to study advertising and journalism.
Yeah. Well, and that
So
person also mentioned it was boring or something.
mhm,
I will say it was definitely 25 minutes too long.
yeah,
It did not it was almost 2 hours long. A rom-com only needs to be about 90 minutes.
yeah, I agree. Oh, so I was gonna bring this up. Okay, this was a Substack written by Caroline Side. It said that there was a fundamental mismatch of tones, like a game of telephone gone wrong. Goldstein and Joe Kelly wrote an R-rated sex farce, and Ol Parker, I guess that's his name, Ol Parker, directed a glossy 90s romance. Would you agree with that? Like, did you feel like it was sort of like two concepts that were like just not meshing well, or do you just feel like as a whole they just had a different idea of a rom-com?
Hmm. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Yeah, take your time.
I don't know what I think about this because okay, so there was the raunchy comedy part and then there was like the romance slash her career journey
Mhm.
and commentary on like women CEOs.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't like think that those two things can't go together. I didn't really feel like the tone was all over the place.
You just feel like they
I just
had a
thought it was a
different.
raunchy comedy
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Like, I can understand why somebody would say that there was mixed tones, but, like, if it had been, like, super heartfelt and, like, um, romantic and loving and build up, and then boom, had this, like, full frontal childbirthing scene, I would have been like, even more, "What the heck?"
Uh-huh.
But the boner was pretty early on. It's like the very first scene that like she is out with like another airline guy and he's talking about how he just got divorced and how he like masturbates to pictures of his wife.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like when she's leaving, she's like, "You should call her. Maybe she's thinking about you." And he was like, "And masturbating?" And
Yeah.
even Alan was like, "Ugh," that he's like, that took it too far." Like the first joke was fine, but then to make it again felt like too much. Um, but like that was the first scene, you know? So I don't feel like there was any sort of point where it felt like a massive switch up.
No, that's a really good point. Your question kinda stumped me for a minute because I was like,
Sorry,
I
I kind
don't."
of worded it weird too.
No, I was like well, I was really pondering, like, do I feel like there was, like, a shift in tone? But I think you're right. I just never felt like it was that romantic or heartwarming or anything, so I didn't feel like they didn't know what they were doing. I think they
Mhm.
were just being raunchy the whole time.
Yeah.
None of the romantic moments, like, stood out to me at all.
I think just the part of them being in the Dominican Republic probably felt the most romantic.
Yeah.
But that was honestly a pretty short time of the whole movie span. The other
Oh.
part that I was just going to add really quick was that she said that like Brett Goldstein is so effective at playing Love Struck that it doesn't make sense that he wouldn't just take a different legal job. And that's how I felt. Like I actually do feel like he was believable of like he really likes this woman,
Uh,
but I couldn't, yeah, like I said that to Alan several times like, "Oh, I don't get it. Like why doesn't he just get a different job?"
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, he was love struck like the very first second.
Yeah.
It actually kind of threw me off because I feel like that's something we're not really used to seeing. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't like butt heads and have this snarky banter.
It was kinda nice to see, I guess. Like, now that you say that, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's nice to see a rom-com where the man is, like, immediately like, 'Oh my gosh, like, you are a goddess and I love you.'"
Yeah. Do you feel like JLo and Brett had good chemistry? Like how I've just been calling her JLo this whole time, and Brett by his first name.
Um, I don't like, I think it was good enough. Like, I think some negative reviews were like, "They had absolutely no chemistry, J.Lo can't act, yada, yada, yada," and I enjoyed her performance, and I think, like, together, like, sexual romantic chemistry, I don't know, but, like, I feel like they had, like, a good friendly chemistry, and, like, you can enjoy they I mean, you could, tell that, like, they enjoyed each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some people are watching interviews and of like, "Oh, yeah, they've definitely hooked up," and I'm like,
I
I didn't get that impression."
thought their chemistry was fine. It was nothing really to like write home about, but it was fine. I'd
And
give it
how what
like
do you
a
think
3.
of JLo's performance then,
Acting?
because she is so, like, often under attack?
I thought it was fine for a Netflix movie. I think people are too hard on her. Um, Maybe I'm just used to watching bad stuff. We don't watch a lot of like Oscar worth like I just watched it off campus.
Yeah, I guess she
Like,
did better than Hannah.
yeah, like I thought it was fine.
What
She was
about
fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like
I'm trying to think of a Netflix actress that I think is like has really wowed me. Who's like the best actress in Bridgerton? Maybe like Lady Danbury? I don't even know. Did
Yeah,
you
like, I
was her
thought, like,
act
she was fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did it distract you at all?
I don't think there was any moment that I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cringy," that she did, you know?
Uh-huh.
Or like, "Oof, that was delivered so bad," or whatever.
Yeah.
I actually thought repeatedly, like, "She is really beautiful."
Yeah.
Um, Body Tea, they showed her in her little bikini, and I was like, "Oh, freak. I'm only 29, and
I
J-Lo
know.
has got it."
My sister was Googling JLo, and I guess she's 5'5", which is how tall I am,
Oh,
and I was like, "So if
you're
so if
like,
I
"That
was
could be
in
my
really"
physique."
Yeah. I was like, "If I was in really good shape, that's what I would look like."
Uh, yeah, no, I thought like, yeah, she's super hot and I was telling Issa before we started that I did need to take a second to like give JLo her credit where credit is due. A
Yes.
lot of people when this was like first announced were like even like, in all the comment sections they were like, "Well, I don't know about JLo, but I like Brett or whatever." And I said that. I think that was the very first thing I sent to Issa. I was like, "Well, I'm not a huge JLo fan, but then I was thinking about it and I was like, why? Why would I say I'm not a huge JLo fan? I like a lot of the rom-com she's in, and so I think that might be a little bit of internalized misogyny. I'm sorry, JLo. I'm calling myself out. I think her dating habits are a little weird.
What
That
what
she
does she
like
do? She keeps
dated
going
Ben
back to Ben
Affleck and then
Affleck?
like got married to Ben Affleck and then divorced Ben Affleck and she gets
Affleck,
married.
like the duck?
What's his name?
I think
Affleck?
it's Affleck. Ben Affleck?
Affleck. I don't even know. But yeah, like I think it's interesting, you know? But
Well, what's her biggest crime? Being a little cringe?
yeah,
Let
being a
her
little
be
boy
cringe, you
crazy, well,
guys.
so was I. You'll find out in our episode that we're releasing. We already recorded our July book episode, but
Which
I had
comes out,
some
like, 7 weeks from now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what? I love a fellow boy crazy girl, so I accept you. No. But I was just gonna read this really quick. In January 2021, Jennifer Lopez was became the first woman to have a #1 film and album simultaneously in the United States. Lopez had been searching for a romantic comedy role for several years. She wanted to show that she could be every girl, stating, "I felt like all the women in romantic comedies always looked the same way, and they were always white." Despite negative reviews, the film opened at #1 at the box office and solidified her place in Hollywood. At the same time, J-Lo debuted at #1 on the US Billboard 200. She was the first female solo recording artist under Epic Records to do so since the label's inception in 1953.
Wow.
So, like, we got to give some props to J-Lo. There hadn't been a lot of Latinos. Honestly, like, I don't know. I can't say there'd never been. Issa, maybe you'll find out in your evolution of the rom-com, like
Yeah.
when they started introducing, that's a series Issa's doing on Instagram and TikTok. But, yeah, like who was the first person that they introduced that was a person of color? But, that was like a big moment. She wasn't playing like a stereotypical Latino role. And, at the same time, she was crushing it musically too.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
let's not
I've never seen
disrespect
The Wedding Planner.
uh,
Or what's the other one? Made in
Made in
Manhattan.
Manhattan. Yeah, she's in a couple. In The Wedding Planner. Oh, sorry. Monster-in-Law is another one. I just felt like I couldn't close this episode without like telling people, you know, she did some work. She made some changes in rom-coms, and that opened the door for a lot of other leading women and the kind of rom-coms that we see. And even 20 years later, like, I mean, it did open some doors, but like, we still need more of that, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people hate her so much. I think the public just likes to hate on women.
well, did you have any final thoughts to say about the movie?
I don't really have any additional thoughts.
Yeah, I
Overall, would I
agree.
recommend the movie? Honestly, I think you can pass. I don't know, what do you think?
I think that's kind of why I was like leaning towards like as a comedy giving it like a 3.5 because or I guess that's like a 3. Is cuz I do think you can recommend it to the right people and that like a lot of people, I mean, the reviews on Rotten Tomato are 50%, critics and audience. And so I think that shows like how divided it is, but that it's not like terrible for everyone and it's not amazing for everyone and there's a lot of people that are either going to love it or hate it, you know.
Yeah.
Um so if you like raunchy comedies, and that's like it's just a whole different subgenre of romantic comedies that I just personally don't really watch. Like Knocked Up is one of the highest rated like more recent well, in the past 20 years like rom-coms and it was like one of the most highest grossing and I was like Knocked Up is a rom-com? Like I don't even consider that like in the same
Yeah.
genre, but there are a lot of people that like really love and enjoy movies like that and so like I think that if that's the kind of rom-com you like then you might enjoy this, but if you're looking for, like, a revival of classic rom-coms, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Clueless, 13 Going on 30, things like that, that this is not gonna be the same kind of movie.
No, yeah, that's a good point. I was just like, "Yeah, nobody needs to watch it." I think it's because in my mind, like, the people that like, my friends and family, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be texting them and be like, "Oh, I think you guys would like this movie." But I guess there's people
Yeah.
out there that would.
I feel like I laughed enough, like, I have a couple friends that I think would, like, get some good laughs out of it. Again, like, I don't think they'd be like, "What a romantic movie."
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do think that, you can get a good laugh, but I'd say don't expect anything more than just a comedy. If you're
Right.
watching it, like, that should set your expectations at the right place.
Definitely. Okay, well, next week is Every Year After, right?
Yep.
I'm really curious to see, like, how this show does and what the response is because Off Campus just came out, and that's a Prime show.
Well, that's true, they're
So,
both on the same streaming.
yeah, and I don't know, I feel like I haven't seen as much about this one as I did Off Campus.
Yeah, I think the off-campus book series had, like, a larger, audience.
Even though I haven't read every summer after yet, and I've only read I read one other Carly Fortune book before, and it was fine. Like, it didn't leave me dying to read more of her books, but it was fine. But even with all that, for some reason, I have way higher expectations of this show just because it's on Prime versus Netflix, and every
Yeah,
Prime show I've watched, I've really enjoyed.
that's a good point. I agree.
I think when this episode comes out, the show will already be out.
Oh, yes, because this is coming out on the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so the show's out now, so you can start listening. Our episode's gonna come out next week on the 19th. Um, did I say you can start listening? Sorry. You can start watching. Um, and we'll check in next week and see, have we finally found our new obsession? That's what me and Issa are going to be asking for every new piece of media that we watch.
Is every year after gonna be our new obsession?
Yeah, I'm just going to start like that's like my
Okay.
question because we were just talking about how like we really are fangirls and like it might not sound like it because of the
Because
episodes we've been doing.
we hate on everything.
Yeah, but I'm hoping I want to find my new obsession. I want to, like, really love something like I did, like, when Heated Rivalry came out and when, like, the first 2 seasons of Bridgerton came out, you know? Like, I was really hooked on those, so I'm gonna set my expectations, like, lower, but still be hopeful that something this year will, like, spark that obsession in us.
Well, and if not, at least we have Love Island
Yeah, that's true. Although I'm still waiting for that spark with this
to
current
come
season.
back. You give it another few episodes.
Yeah.
All
Alright, well,
right.
we'll
Thanks
see you
for
next week.
listening, you guys. Bye.